This is my wife's E93 BMW, and over the past couple videos, we have been on a journey to bring it to the modern generation. Now first, we installed this touchscreen head unit that gives us pretty awesome features like wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And then for the outside, we did some exterior upgrades, obviously bringing it to the next generation with these 513M wheels, and we also did some bolt-on parts, the front grille, the reflector, the turn signals, some badging on the back that like really cleaned up the exterior of this car. Now in today's video, we are going to ditch this old gauge cluster for a digital one. Okay, so what does this come with? First, obviously the gauge cluster, and then next you get this bezel. So this is just 2 screws to hold this bezel in. The old one is attached to the gauge cluster, so obviously you can't reuse it. Next you get this USB cable. So this we are going to permanently install to the back of the gauge cluster and then to a convenient location so you don't have to take all of this out when you go to do an update if you need to. And then last, you get this T10 bit that's nice and short so you can pull those screws out easily. So a really easy kit, should take about 15, maybe 30 minutes. Now one good thing to note, because I did a lot of research, is you can find versions like this for $300, or you can find from a BMW premium website the same exact thing for 600 bucks. So I went with the $300 one because I learned they're literally all made in the same factory. They're all sourced the same. Other folks just put markups on it. So I'll leave a link to this down in the description. Now to start, the T10 was actually too small. I believe I used a T15. Otherwise, it was really easy to remove the old screen. Just one harness clipped in the back, and that's pretty much it. Next, we route the cable. I figured this compartment would be really convenient for future use if I needed it, and this too was really easy to fish the wire from behind the dash to this side area, and once I got it pulled through, I just tucked it away and we were pretty much ready to install the screen. For the new screen, you'll have the factory harness and this USB update cable. When sliding on the screen, it seats further back than you'd probably anticipate, and it takes a little bit to get it situated nicely. I'd recommend taking your time so you don't scratch up any surrounding areas or the screen itself. All right, moment of truth. Let's go. That is so sick. All right, let's get this bezel on and then we're gonna finish this out. But as of right now, that looks pretty freaking sweet. For the plastic shroud, you'll notice there's some tracks to line up the metal rails and it just clicks into place. Not too hard, but again, just take your time. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and fire it up. I actually got it all set up. Right here, you can see the startup screen. It's really quick. It kind of has an M version startup screen that you are able to swap out if you aren't really into the M version. If you don't have an M version car like me, you can tell that this Apple CarPlay already connected wirelessly. Again, if you guys want to see that video, I got it in another install. But between the two, you can tell that this looks night and day. So techy, so modern. It like completely changes the look of this cockpit. Now, as I kind of toggle through these settings, you're gonna see I'm working with this BC button right here to make selections. Also, the down is kind of the same as the BC button. Up takes you to the menu, and then you kind of like hold down to make a selection, or hold in that BC button to make a selection, and then just push up to kind of clear yourself out. Now I think it's beneficial to go over all of the settings. So I'm gonna set you right here on my steering wheel and we're gonna go check out what this thing has to offer. As you can tell right here, this is your home screen. This is the one that I kind of like the most. You can see it shows your mileage, your trip odometer, very intuitive. Now you can kind of toggle through here, get some other options, and you can add or delete these kind of however you please in the menu option. Now if you come up here to the menu, we'll go over that last. You can see first here, you can come in and pick your style, and the screen is super crisp. These all look really, really nice. The colors are really vivid. The lines are nice and sharp, and it just looks really good. So come in here, pick whichever one kind of tickles your fancy. This one's a little bit more race oriented, or like the modern BMW, but with an E93, I kind of like this, nice, clean, and simple. You can come in here, change some of your vehicle settings, vehicle color, some of the audio. Yeah, just a little bit to kind of customize it to exactly what you'd like. Now right here you can change obviously the language, date and time, which I already set up. Units, you can put it in miles per hour and gallons. And then here's some kind of just general settings for like brightness and stuff. This is how you would update it with that USB for some software updates. And then I'd like to go over this. So as you click factory settings, it brings you to a pin, which is in your user manual. It's a little bit of a pain. You kind of have to like toggle through here. Now, when you get in here, you can see that it shows the odometer, fuel tank, vehicle mode settings. The part that sketched me out the most is when I first got this, it read 150,000 miles. My car has 82. So I literally came in here and you are able to manipulate your mileage. That is pretty sketchy. So if you're buying one of these BMWs and you see a digital dash in here, make sure you verify the mileage. So I came in here and set it to exactly what I took a picture of before. You come down here, you hit set, and you are on your way. So pretty sketchy if you ask me. Now, a lot of people have complaints about the fuel tank not showing full when it's really full. You actually come in here, read your owner's manual or online, and you set your fuel capacity so you can dial in your fuel tank. And then this right here just kind of sizes the screen to whatever version of car you have. Now right here you can do some like your trip resets, obviously. Same right here as well. And then this part confused me a little bit. I said, oh, I thought this didn't have Apple CarPlay. They don't advertise it for Apple CarPlay whatsoever. So let's go ahead and connect my phone to this Apple CarPlay. Okay, now that literally took 2 seconds, but you can see I literally have Apple CarPlay set up in the dash and I didn't even pay for it like the premium versions on Amazon charge. So I would not go and buy an Apple CarPlay version, but you can see right here, these two devices are fighting for my Apple CarPlay. So you either need to have it on your touchscreen right here or in your dash. And truthfully, I like it just like this. I like the Apple CarPlay on this side. It looks a little bit more kind of normal and a significantly larger screen in like a normal position for where you want that. But if you want Apple CarPlay in here, you can have it. You can see that I have a tire pressure light on. You just have to reset and like recalibrate your tires in some of these software settings. But yeah, everything works as intended. So the choice is yours. Do you like this OEM kind of purist gauge cluster, or do you like this aftermarket digital Chinese gauge cluster? I prefer that one. It just fits my style a little bit more, but I definitely get if you still like this. Nevertheless, if you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments. If you want this for yourself, I'll link it down in the description below. Nevertheless, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.